Hello orchid fans, what's up? Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to repot my new plants. So I've got 4 plants in total that I got recently, and they're still in their original media, and yeah, I want to get them out. So as I work through them, I'll just talk more about them and why I'm doing it, and yeah, let's get to work. Okay, so I'll do the other small one. So all 3 of these plants came from Spiciotic Plants, and I did an unboxing recently, and I'll link that video in the description if you haven't seen it. This one is Dendrobium cucumerinum. I think it's now been, the name has been changed to Drocilla or Docrilla cucumerina. So it's the same thing essentially. So again, it's a species orchid. I had it before, and it looked completely different from this one. So, and even when I saw this on their eBay store, the photos, I saw this for a while. You know, they had it for a while now, and I just couldn't buy it because I just thought this just does not look like cucumerinum. And yeah, I just wasn't sure if that's the right thing, but I got rid of some plants recently, and I thought, you know what, I've got some space, it's a small plant, I'll get it, and you know, I'll keep it growing, and we'll see what comes out of it. So I got it, and so I got it out of the pot, and it's basically virtually no roots on this plant. So I think it's starting some new roots. See, with this plant, and I had the same issue with my previous one, I can't understand where is a root and where is a leaf. And I know this maybe sounds stupid, but do you see the leaves? Like they're just stringy bits, right? So if it hangs downwards, it just looks like a root. So it's very difficult to see what is a root and what is a growth. Like, for example, see this one here. So it's hanging down, but I think it's actually a leaf. So this bit here, it's just so confusing. I honestly have no idea. So I think this plant has started growing some new roots. So it's started, you know, it's got some little nubbins. Oh, I really want to know if this is one plant or more than one, but I'm afraid that if I will try and separate it, it might be actually one plant, but on a very fragile rhizome, and I will just snap it, you know, by just trying to wiggle it. So it does seem very intact. So given it's so small, I will just leave it as it is for now, and if it survives, because the other one died, so you know, this one might die as well. If it survives and if it establishes a root system and it kind of gets a bit bigger, then I can try and separate it and see if it is actually more than one plant. And I'll be able to, you know, I'll actually be able to see it as well as it grows, because if the new growths start coming out of from all directions, then it will be easier to see if it's, you know, if it's separate plants. So yeah, I mean, this one, it does seem like these roots are active still. So hopefully it, you know, they just keep growing and they can get adapted to the new setup. So I'm just trying to think where I want to pot them in, if it's gonna be leca or bark. I think I'll actually maybe do bark. So what I'll do with this one, I will get some leca as crocking. So I hope that will give you a bit of a better view. So that's my pot crocked, and yeah, I think I'll just do kind of similar setup. I don't think this one will want to be always wet and, you know, kind of keep the humidity up. So I'm not gonna go mad with the Ceramis, but I still want to add a bit of a layer. Again, more just to kind of keep the media a little bit more moist until this new bark ages enough to kind of keep a bit more humidity. I'm thinking to plant this quite low in the pot to kind of stabilize it, and at the same time so it's got a bit more humidity around the base as well. I'm just hoping that that will you know, that will just kind of allow it to establish a bit kind of quicker and better. So let me see, let's try and get some bark around it. And I'm just putting it in the middle of a pod because it is just a clump of leaves, of growths, and I really don't know where it's gonna grow from next. So I'll keep it in the middle, and then once I can kind of see, you know, if it starts kind of growing into one direction, then when I repot, I will know how to position the plant to give it more space for the new growths. So it's not going to be very stable in the pot because those roots, you could see, they are very small. So the bark can't really grab hold of them very much, but I hope it will be okay. If it wobbles way too much, then what I'll do is I'll maybe just take a small wire and just wire it in. But to be honest, I don't really, you know, I don't want to do it kind of unnecessarily, so I'm just checking the base of the plant. I think there are some roots that I kind of left not covered, so I just want to cover them up. I don't have many, so it would be good to keep them hydrated. So here we are. I think that will be it, and that's our cucumerinum. And then I've got my Oncidium Twinkle Red Fantasy. So this one is actually not from Spiciotic Plants. I got this from one of my subscribers, and we basically did a swap. I sent them my Dendrobium hibiki, and yeah, she got in touch and she said she would love to have it. So, and I got this plant from her. So you can see there is loads of roots on this one. So it's in a basket. And to be honest with this one, because it comes from another orchid grower and not from a nursery, I would trust, you know, that it's fine, that, you know, the media inside it is fine, and obviously it's happy. But do you see these new growths? I mean, they have no space left in the pot. So I've got 2 growths here, and then I've got another growth here. So I feel like, you know, if once they kind of try and grow their bulbs, they won't have any space to develop properly. So that's why I want to take it out of this basket. I also have a suspicion there might be more than one plant in here, but maybe not. Maybe it's just the way it kind of spread out. So I really don't want to break the roots, but at the same time, I don't want to cut this basket. I think this basket is really good, and I would love to reuse it. So, and honestly, I think even when you try to save the roots by, for example, cutting this basket all apart, and, you know, the roots would be healthy, honestly, in a couple of weeks' time, all of these roots would fail, because even when we cut the pots, we still damage the roots, I think, because, you know, they still get a bit of a shock. So that's why I feel like, you know, even if I break some of these roots, it's not gonna be end of the world, because they will probably fail anyway. But I will do my best. I will do it slowly and see if I can save most of these roots. I mean, they're not really tangled up. You can see they're kind of growing just straight, so they just came out of the basket and grew straight out. So I'm hoping that as I'm pulling it slowly, these roots will be able to just come through. And here we are. So it's not too bad. I lost one root, or maybe a few tips, but yeah, nothing to worry about. So yeah, this root system is just amazing. I can see there is slow release fertilizer in here as well. You can see this little pebble here. So it seems to have liked it. So all these roots that were kind of around the basket and outside the basket, it looks like none of them are actively growing. But the new growths, they have started pushing out new roots. And I think I just snapped one tip. But not to worry. I mean, if it's so vigorous in root growth, I'm sure it will recover its root system very quickly. So I'm thinking to maybe put this in semi-hydro or, you know, in leca, in kind of self-watering type of setup. I mean, I don't know, I am a bit conflicted because, so I've got my Oncidium sweet sugar. I repotted that about a month ago, and when I potted it up, the newest developed pseudobulb was completely plump, just like, you know, like this one, it was just totally plump. And now I can see it started shriveling up a little bit. So I don't know if the root system just rejected the setup and they're just failing, or if you're not getting enough humidity, which I don't know, sounds a bit weird. I mean, I think in self-watering setup it should definitely get plenty of hydration, and I try and not get the leca completely dried, so it should have enough hydration. But I'm not worrying too much because it's got two new growths and they are starting to push out new roots. So in a couple months time it will have a brand new root system. So it will, and they will adapt to the new method, to the new setup, and they will be fine. So so I'm thinking it could be, I can do the same with this one because it's got those new growths and I can see the new roots are already coming out. I can just switch it into a new method, so even if those old roots fail, I will get the new ones soon. So you can probably see as I'm kind of getting through this and getting into the root ball, I'm trying just to wiggle the plant a little bit because I think this piece is definitely separate. So let me see. So if the person who gave me this plant is watching it, I don't want to mention the names because I'm not sure if they would be comfortable with that. You know, I just wanted to say thank you so much for giving me such a big plant, but you know, just one of these pieces would have been more than enough. So I'm quite happy to just grow on smaller plants. I've got loads of young plants and small kind of small divisions, and you know, even if they don't bloom in 6 months or whatever, it's not a big deal, because yeah, I don't think there is a rhizome in between those two pieces. I mean, Twinkles don't really have long rhizomes, or I haven't experienced any. They usually just grow quite close to each other. I mean, the pseudobulbs. So I mean, we've got such a big gap. I'm sure this is a separate plant, but because there are so many roots and so much media in here, I can't quite pull it off, and I really don't want to just yank it away and just tear off all the roots. So I'll try and be gentle. So I'll work away, and once I'm finished, I'll get those plants under the tap. Yeah, I think there is actually another piece, you see. I think there is actually 3 pieces in here. So yeah, once I get all these plants washed up, I'll come back and we can get them potted up. So here is my 3 Twinkles. So yeah, as I kind of was washing them off, they all separated out. So I'm thinking to repot them into separate pots as well. So basically each of them has a new growth. So we had, we had 3 growths. So we've got 1 growth per piece. So you can see them all. They've all got this new growth. And the new roots are coming out of those new growths as well. So so yeah, let's just pot them up. So I'll pot one of them back in the same basket as I got them with. And that's fine. I'll just push it to the back, and the new growth will have loads of space, and then the future growths will have a lot of space as well. So I want to use lacquer for most of them. I mean, this one has a very big gaps at the bottom, so all the lacquer will fall through it. So I'm just trying to think what I can use. Let me try and see if I can use this other lacquer, because there is huge pieces in there. So I found some bigger pieces and crocked the pots. You can see some of them are kind of trying to come out, but it's gonna be in the outer pot anyway. Oh, sorry about that. So yeah, it's going to be in the outer pot, one of my colorful trays, so that's fine. They're not gonna actually fall off. So I'll put the plants straight in, because it's the roots are huge, so I just want them to have enough space in the pot. And I'll put it at the back so that this new growth is right at the front of the plant, right in the middle of the pot. Yeah, it can kind of grow on into the pot and fill this basket up. That's one of them done. And here we have it, the third one also potted up. So again, I try to kind of minimize, the amount of gaps we've got in the pot, but there will be some. So we'll see how it does. Hopefully it will be okay. I mean, this pot feels really heavy as well, so I think I managed to kind of jam quite a lot of lacquer in it. So here we've got all our plants. Let me just put them all in here together. And here we have it. So 6 instead of 4, and I got rid, I think, of 8 plants. So and now I've got 6. So my plan of reducing my collection obviously didn't work. But at least these plants are a lot smaller, so they're not gonna take as much space as those big ones. I also kind of reorganized my shelves slightly, so I'll do my monthly update very quickly in a few days, and yeah, I'll show you guys what where all the plants are and how they're doing. But I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you guys are having a good day and your plants are doing well, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.